Alright, here we have a quick unboxing and first thoughts on the great video maker or GVM LED panels. Okay, so the first one is the GVM 672S. Now this one, in conjunction with the 520S, you can master and slave them together. So here we have the GVM 480LS 3 light kit on the left, and that includes 3 panels and also 3 light stands along with the diffusers. First thing you're going to notice in the larger case, you're going to notice 3 GVM light stands. They're very short and compact, so they do fit inside the case, and they're lightweight. The great thing is, for those particular panels that I'm about to show you, they actually work really well. You don't need a heavy duty type of stand. Here's the 3 included diffuser panels for the 480LS. These are the smaller lights in a rectangular case, the 3 light kit. Now I'm going to show you how you mount it, and I'm going to show you how I decided to mount it for what I think is a better purpose if you want softer light. Now here's the LED panel, the 480LS. It's 480 bicolor bulbs. It's a mixture between the two, and I'll go through that a little bit later so you can see how it works. So here you can see the size and the dimensions of everything. Very nice build, very solid construction, hardly any plastic on it except for this battery area where you control the light. But this particular one here gives you the light power, the intensity, and also the color temperature readout. So I wanted to match the lights in. Instead of guessing it, now I can just input the exact number that I want. So in this particular light kit that I got, it comes with 3 LED panels, 3 LED 480LSs. Now these can't be controlled like the other ones that I showed you in the very beginning, or the larger panel, which is the 520S and the 672S version. It has to be the S in order to have the master slave options. Now here are some thumb screws that come with the packaging. These stems right here, you pretty much just screw it into the corners, and it's pretty much a spacer stem. And this is where the diffuser panel attaches to with the thumb screws. Now you have a short stem and a longer stem. For a softer light or a more diffused light, you'd want that further away. So what I found the best option for me is to screw these 2 stems together to make it even longer. Now all you have to do is screw these into these corner pieces. It's a toolless design, very simple. And then I'll show you in a second how to attach the diffuser with the thumb screws. And you can see the ridges of the notches where something's supposed to slide, but the way that this is placed, as far as the LED bulbs, they protrude way too far in order to utilize that. With this particular design, you really don't need that anyway, and I'll show you in a second, like I said, of how this is going to work and how it looks. What I do like is GVM has a very unique approach in some of their diffusion and some of their packaging options. Is very nice. So this is all you do. You just put the thumb screw inside of the hole and connect it to the stem that's in the corners. Alright, so there you have it. Very lightweight, still compact in design. Very cool. And here is the AC power brick. Very simple. It's not a complicated setup. Show you the intensity, and I'm going to show you the color temperatures. So the very bottom is 2300 Kelvin, which is closer to a candlelight type of look, and all the way up to 6800, which is more like a moonlight type of look. Now that's a 2300 Kelvin, and you can see it scroll all the way up to 6800. The intensity 10 to 99, which is very typical for LED panels. Alright, so here I'm going to show you what it looks like with and without the diffusion. Now, the way that the exposure is set now, it looks fine. So I'm going to show you how big of a difference it makes without the panel, or excuse me, without the diffusion panel. Some people may like to shoot bare with LEDs. Me personally, I do not, because LEDs are pretty harsh and they're very hard to look towards when they're facing you. So you can see the big difference right there. You do lose a bit of power when you start diffusing LEDs. And this is for people who don't understand what LED panels are, especially bicolor ones. This can help you in making better decisions for purchasing for your needs. So as you can see right now, it's a mixture of the lights. There's blue and there's the yellow bulbs. At the very top of the temperature, you're going to see it's all blue, and as you go down a little bit in temperature, you can see the yellow ones kick in. So now I'm at the yellow at the bottom where it's a candlelight type of Kelvin. And as soon as I go up a little bit, you're going to start noticing that the blue ones kick in. And then when it gets really bright, that's when both of them are kicking in about equally, about the 43 to 4500 Kelvin. Now, one thing I do want to show you is how harsh LEDs can be. Turn the intensity down a little bit. You can see each bulb. Now, as I pull the diffuser away, even at a lower intensity, you can't make out the bulbs anymore because it's diffused better. Alright, so for here I wanted to show you what the 672S's look like. Now I have one in black here and the other side is green. The green one's already open, so this one I wanted to show you exactly how it comes when you get it. Even the paper and honestly the quality of the cardboard construction, everything is really of high quality and it feels great. Here's the manual and some customer service card, etc. Here's the boxes, what it looks like when you get the barn doors inside this box. And you can put, the great thing I like is that you can put everything that you need in the same packaging. So it's not like you need something extra to carry all the extra accessories. These boxes right here are the power cord and the power brick. And then that's pretty much it. I'll show you in a second the rest of it. All right, so here's the panel, the green one on the left and the black one on the right. You're gonna see everything is metal construction. One thing I do notice is that turn knob right there is all metal on the green one, and on the black one is actually plastic and it has a little covering with the logo on it. I like the black one in general, and I like the green one so I know which one is the master when I set them up for the multi-lamp connection control. Now inside that box is the brackets for the soft diffusion that you want to add to it. The black one came as a set with the batteries. They normally don't come like that. And then I have another set coming that's going to be in a case, which is 2 lights and 2 stands. Sony batteries, they even have their brand on it and they're actually bigger. I'm going to show you what my typical Sony ones look like that you would get the smaller size. So here's the normal battery that I got for Sony style that I use like on an Atomos Ninja, and here's the one for the GVM, which is a good size. It's almost like twice as thick as it, or maybe even more. And you get 2 of those, you get 2 chargers, everything's wrapped up very nicely. There's some like varying information that you may find online about these, so I just want to say that the lights in general, the 600 series, are approximately 10 by 10 lights. You're going to see different measurements, 13 by 12, but it's a little weird. I'm not sure if they're measuring the case or what they're doing, but the panel itself is about a 10 by 10. The light output is a 45-degree beam angle. They rated at 20,000 lux at 20 inches, which is about equivalent to a 450 watt tungsten. And the LED beads last approximately 70,000 hours. So the high quality metal build has advanced heat dissipation, and the multi-connection control is really nice between the two, which I'll show you. And I'll show you a little bit later. And it's basically where you can master one and slave some in different groups, and you can control one with a little delay and the other one will move and copy what you're doing on the one light. So you have the different controls there, the 4 presets, which is really nice. In the mode buttons, which you can make it master slave. It'd be cool if it had a remote control that you can control it wirelessly, but it's not that big of a deal, and it's definitely not a deal breaker. So this one, as you can see, it's a bit bigger. It's 672 LED bulbs, and they also have a 520 version. The 520 is the same dimensions, I believe, but it's just less bulbs. The screw knobs that you're going to see here, I put those there. They actually weren't there, and that's basically so you can put on barn doors that come with it. Here's the power cord. Here's the power brick like before. Okay, so here's the barn doors. Now for LEDs, barn doors usually don't do too much. You can't really cut the light like you'd want to. Now for me, I wanted to use it more for protection of the LED bulb, so I wanted to close it, and when I packed it, I didn't have to worry about something smashing it. So here on the back of the panel, you can see this is a little bit different. Now you have, I can't remember if it's P or D tab, but you put that on the side where it's facing downwards. You can have 2 batteries in the back, the same Sony batteries as before. To turn it on, you push the AC, you push it to the right and push it to the left for the batteries. So you basically have those buttons at the brightness and color temperature. Now, keep in mind that these 2 batteries that you put on here, you have to have 2 of them. They don't charge while you have it plugged in the AC for any of the GVM lights that I'm aware of. You have to have 2 batteries in at once. If you have one, it doesn't matter which side you put it on, it won't work. Now, one unique thing about these particular panels, the larger ones, the 672S and the 520S, has a master and slave mode. So it's a wireless mode where they connect with each other. And I'll show you that in a little bit, where you can turn one and the other one turns as well with a little bit of delay. I wish there was kind of like an actual hand remote. That would be pretty nice, but it doesn't have that. But I'll show you that a little later. All right, so let me just give you a quick demonstration of how the multi-lamp connection control works. So as I set one up, the green one, I'm going to turn something in adjustment, and then you're going to see the one on the right is going to follow shortly after. There is a slight delay, but adjusting the intensity and the color temperature will both follow. So depending on how many lights you have, you can set up your groups accordingly of how you want to set everything up, and it's a very nice option. Now, this is what I was showing you in the previous one, how it has little notches where you can slide a little diffusion panel. Now this one has it, and you just pop this little thing up here to catch it from falling out. I prefer to actually diffuse it as much as possible. You do lose usable output power, but I just feel like it's more of a usable light for my application if I wanted to use it more of a key or a fill light. You attach these in, they're really easy, just spring loaded. You just push them in, screw them in, and that's pretty much it. All right, these are the thumb screws I was mentioning. You saw these before, but now it's for this light. Everything is a toolless design, so that's great. Here's the intensity. And this light goes from 3200 to 56. So other companies and other people who reviewed this light have checked the CRI ratings, and they seem to deliver as promised. We're in the 95 or 97 plus range. The smaller panels here in the 672Ss, they seem to be uniform within the same model number, but they seem a little bit different. And I'll go ahead and show you my aperture as well. So what I'm doing with this light with the intensity and changing the color temperature is exactly the same thing that I showed you earlier with the 400 series panel. And it's just to give you an idea what it looks like. All right, now this is with both of the panels, the 600 and the 400 series, side by side, and I'm gonna match the color temperature. Now it might be hard to tell based on looking at the bright lights facing you, but I adjusted the exposure where you can see the LEDs, and I wanna just show you the pattern of them and how the LEDs are spaced out. So all the lights are gonna be set at 10% intensity and temperature or color temperature of 4500. Okay, so here I have the 3 different lights, and the first thing you're going to notice is the LED patterns. They're a bit different. They're all set at 10% intensity and at 4500 Kelvin. So just looking at the LED beads, you notice that the aperture is a little more scattered, smaller. It does have more beads, but they're kind of like at a diagonal type of pattern. Where you look at the GVM, it's more of a traditional style pattern where it's rows, where you see a blue row, a yellow row, etc. And I'll go ahead and show you at a different angle so you can see it. I'll show you the smaller panel on the back. So I tilted it a little bit so you can see the row clearly how I see it. So out of the 2 larger panels, the Aperture Light Storm and the 600 series GVM light, they both have a 45-degree beam angle. So all these lights here have high CRI and TLCI ratings. Okay, so this is where you can actually see the difference. Now, if you look at all the lights on the right, the 4 lights on the right hand side, those are the GVM lights. Now, when you have the smaller panels, the 400 series at the very lowest intensity at 10%, there is a odd color shift that's noticeable. As soon as you start raising the intensity, you'll start noticing it matching and looking more normal, as you can see right here. So despite the smaller lights looking brighter at this point because of the nature of the small light and maybe the narrow light beam, you'll notice that the color temperature itself is very close to the 600 series. If you look at the same setup here and you look at the aperture light on the left hand side at the same Kelvin temperature, you'll definitely notice that that light appears to be more on the softer white, kind of more yellow type of side in comparison. So nothing's wrong with either or. All it is something for you to be aware of. If you're matching lights across any type of LED lights, check how they render the color temperature and see how it affects the real world use of it and make the proper adjustments. So in this video, I have aperture lights and I also have the GVM lights, and I'm bringing it and I'm showing and explaining that they're not direct competitors, and that's not the purpose of having them together in this video. As technology moves forward, there's going to be way more affordable options out there for color quality and highlight output. At one point, aperture, and still is, was a great option a few years ago when they first came out, in comparison to the existing options for the price point one, for the color quality of light, and also for the light output. So all GVM is another option. It's just something so people are familiar with to give people a different option at different budgets and different reasons that you may need one or the other. For example, if you're looking for pure power, maybe the aperture may be the reason you want to pick this up for a particular job or gig or use. But another reason or option for having the GVM, for example, is maybe you don't need all that power. If you look at this panel right here, this is an Aperture Light Storm. It's very sturdy, a decent size and weight, and you have a lot of attachments that I'll show you in a second if you need to make it portable. Now, if you just need the maximum light output, there's other options even way beyond in the price range or price point of an Aperture Light Storm. This is just an average thing that most people are starting to use as videographers and cinematographers, so I just wanted to show this. If you have this power box here, which is the controller box, and on the back you put a V-mount or Anton Bauer depending on the plate that you have. And then from here you have a power brick, which I'll show you in a second, and you'll even have a really long power cord. Now nothing's wrong with that, but if your primary goal is to be compact, quick, run and gun, maybe have somebody hold the light, maybe that's not actually the best option for you unless you need the power. Because the great thing about the GVM light in this particular example is it's very lightweight and very compact, and you get a good amount of power. Now, if you're lighting a whole set or something, maybe it's not enough, but if you just need something for creative purposes on the run and gun type of aspect, or something for creative lighting at nighttime, or whatever the case may be, grab 2 small Sony batteries and be good to go. And it's a very compact solution for a smaller light. If I need something for an accent light or a hair light or a stylized light, I wouldn't necessarily grab the most expensive and the most powerful light. So if you look at this small 400 series, what I think is really cool about this one, especially if you're doing like a nighttime, like creative style music video type stuff, and you need somebody holding stuff and run and gun, you don't need light stands in the way, you can hold that bracket like I was saying you can do with the other light, but it's even smaller. And if you compare it to a small light such as this that you may find on like an eBay or something, they range from anywhere from $40 to $100 to $200 actually for a little bit higher quality and a little bit larger versions. But why would you get that when you can just spend a little over $100 and get the 400 series? Now, like I said, the price is going to vary depending on which package you get, but in general, it's around that range, give or take. And if you want it to be even smaller, just get rid of the diffusion panel. And I think it's a great portable option if you just need it for that creative purpose. And go ahead and put those 2 Sony batteries and you're good to go. If this was helpful at all, please hit like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification icon to get future updates on future videos, or visit www.howtoandreviews.com. Till next time.